Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first FTR podcast. Okay, FTR, Florida Trail Racers. Not Florida Trail Riders. I mean, they got a trademark there. So, Florida Trail Racers podcast. Okay, episode number 1. But we are going to talk about FTR, FloridaTrailRiders.org. Okay, that's the group of people that I have a lot of respect for. Really appreciate being a part of this group. FloridaTrailRiders.org is the organization in Florida that if you ride a dirt bike, you need to participate with. Okay, they put on hare scrambles events, they put on enduros. Not so much motocross right now, but this is the organization in Florida that you need to be a member of if you ride a dirt bike. Okay. And if you want to race hare scrambles or enduros, there's no other alternative. Gosh, I can't talk. And that's a good reason for that, because FTR is so strong and very well respected within the dirt bike community throughout North America. I mean, people in Canada know about us. Naturally people in Florida, but even out in California, everybody knows about FTR. So, my goal here is to talk about some issues, talk about some events, talk about some of the riders, and talk about what FTR has to offer and what we can do to keep riding opportunities available for us. I'm going to, from time to time, hopefully moving forward, bring some guys in, bring some of the FTR elected officials in, maybe have some interviews with them. The average weekend warrior rider that's out there, and maybe even get some sponsors involved at some point. I'm going to look at the FTR, forums, for hot topics that are going on at the moment. Look at the Facebook page as well, because with every organization, there's always opportunities to improve. There's times where there's some disagreements as well, and these are some of the things that I'd like to talk about, and like to bring others in and get their opinions as well, because it's not about me, it's about the organization. Because I joined FTR, gosh, was it 4 years ago now? And been very, very impressed. Never been part of a group like this. The beautiful thing about FTR is so many subgroups, sub-clubs, I guess you would say. FTR, I guess, is the promoting entity of events here in Florida, but we have clubs throughout Florida. For example, Daytona Dirt Riders, or Apollo. Naturally, Daytona Dirt Riders is based out of Daytona. The Apollo Club's out of Titusville. And those are the two I'm most familiar with, because I'm on the east side of Florida. We got Central Florida Trail Riders, and we've got so many others, all great groups. So anybody who may listen to this podcast that's not a member of FTR, who lives in Florida or plans to vacation in Florida, spend some time down here, and wants to ride, it's worthwhile becoming a member of one of the respective clubs. And FTR do a lot of great things. If we don't stand together as a group, stand strong, we're going to lose the opportunity to ride, and that's a big threat for everybody. But anyway, my name's Sean Fouch. I'm a Master B rider. Started a beginner class, raced Master C, and now I'm in Master B. I was off the bike for about 30-something years, about 31 years. Like so many other people that I've met within FTR, I rode when I was young, and life started with responsibilities and got out of it. And came back to Florida, got involved. Actually, a friend of mine, Pete Rose, who's, gosh, Pete, I'm sorry, I can't remember what title that you have within FTR. I think you're a district something or other. But through work, Pete says, "Yeah, you used to ride back in the day, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And he said, we race hare scrambles, we race enduros, and Florida Trail Riders. I didn't know anything about it prior to that. Looked into it and said, oh, that looks pretty neat. I said, but Pete, I haven't ridden in 30 years. He said, don't worry about it. He said, come out and go riding with us. So I picked up a used '04 YZ250, showed up at the Daytona Dirt Riders Hare Scrambles a couple years back. I think it was maybe 12 when the hurricane was coming by. And proceeded to ragdoll myself through the trees because I'd never raced in the trees before. I rode some motocross when I was young. I'd never ridden or raced trails or anything like that. So naturally I get out there and I whiskey throttle myself through the famous Florida sand whoops and ragdoll myself through the trees. And the only people I knew at that time was Pete. And he introduced me to Ron Thomas. Anybody knows Ron knows he's a character. But I was so impressed with the fact that, my very first ride, I ragdoll myself through the trees. I am just tore up. And James Hill Jr. stops his race to tend to me. I was like, wow, you'd never see something like that in motocross, at least not when I was riding. And all the people that, pitched in to help get me off the course, get me back, get my torn up bike back, and so on and so forth. So my very first experience, while it was sucked as far as the first race goes, my experience with the people was incredible. It was phenomenal. And so to this day, if James ever needs anything from me, he knows just to simply ask, because what he did, and I've seen that since. That was a couple of years back, and I've seen it and I've heard about it on several occasions where people would stop and help another rider. That says a lot for what our organization is, the people who participate in it, and it's quite incredible. So FTR has been a great experience for me, and all I want to do is try to help further support FTR. This is not an official endorsement by FTR or anything else like that. I mean, I'm just doing this on my own because I care quite a bit. It's important, I've learned now that I'll never go without a dirt bike again. Okay, I went 30-something years without one. Got back on it, started riding, having a good time, and have so much respect for the 66-plus guys that are out there riding and doing what they do. It's like, my gosh, this is keeping those guys young. At least that's my argument to keep riding. So I'm going to use that argument, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to continue to ride as long as I can. I don't see myself ever going without a dirt bike again. But FTR, great group, great organization, supports riding in Florida. If you're not a member, become one. If you are a member, thanks. And thanks for all the contributions, because everything that's done through FTR is 99.9% of it's all volunteer stuff. So it's the guys that show up on the weekends, go out there and cut trail for us to go ride. All that's just phenomenal. I want to throw out, too, to Donnie Richardson. I've never seen a situation where you have basically a medical team at every race. Yeah, an ambulance is one thing, but have a medical team like Donnie and his crew just blew my mind, because early on I got to meet Donnie for the wrong reasons. Like I said, I augured myself in my very first ride. Again, never having ridden in the woods before is kind of a learning experience for me. I ended up hitting some co-riders before, some co-racers, and Dan Thaler, I accidentally hit him, a couple of years ago. So I got to meet Donnie early and too often, but to see what they do and how they help and support us, and how FTR membership has supported Donnie as well, because we all appreciate what he does and how he helps out. Purpose again of these podcasts is to try to further and support FTR, riding opportunities here in Florida, and talk about things that we enjoy. Riding a dirt bike, racing a dirt bike. There's some things that we disagree on from time to time as well. I'd like to talk about those issues. I'd like to bring some some of the executives that we've elected into position within FTR for some interviews. We'd like to be able to get some questions answered that maybe the memberships has. The opportunities to do something here, I think, are very, very strong. And that's the reason I'm spending a little bit of effort to try to further the FTR cause. So again, my name's Sean Fouch. Some of you know me from being at the races. Some of you know me from the forums. I've got some haters and I've got some supporters, and that just kind of goes with the territory. But don't misinterpret my motivation here. My motivation is strictly to support FTR at series and give all of its members an opportunity to ride and enjoy themselves and be as safe as possible. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully we'll have an interview here for the next episode. Thanks.